G'day guys and gal. Primarchs are great. Love him or hate him, you can't say that Guilliman hasn't been a breath of fresh air in the current setting. His arrival has allowed the stakes to increase and for greater threats to emerge. After all, you think Ultramar would have survived the Plague Wars without G-Man? No. The reality is, the Imperium only still exists because all the traitor Primarchs are too busy jerking themselves off, metaphorically, or in Fulgrim's case, quite literally. The setting wasn't ready for them to genuinely return beyond Angron getting clapped by Grey Knights and Magnus still not getting over that the Space Wolves invaded Prospero 10,000 years ago. Like, Abaddon has put in a good shift, but it would take like one bitch slap from Guilliman to put him in his grave, which is why Chaos hasn't really been able to bring out anything bigger than him. Until Guilliman's arrival, which opened the floodgates, and now we have epic wars and Primarch duels and all this cool stuff, which are always a huge vibe. The point I'm trying to make is that the return of Loyalist Primarchs is sick, but who should be next? What Primarch could they bring back which would not only allow shit like the Silent King and other traitor Primarchs to emerge, but would also shake up the setting and steer it clear of its currently predictable path? Keep watching to find out, boy. Before we get too moist from all this Primarch talk, exciting news. All the Majorkill minis are back in stock, including Shark Daddy, who sold out in like 2 hours last time. Sorry it took so long. A couple of my 3D printers broke and resin randomly became really scarce where I am, but it's all good now. The Majorkill mini painting competition is still live, and we're getting some awesome submissions, including this incredible Blood Angels conversion by Tom. It's an absolute joy to see what you guys come up with, and I can't wait to see some of those Shark Daddies get painted up. I'll do my best to keep these from selling out, but can't promise anything, so get in while it's hot. Today we'll follow some of the breadcrumbs that GW has left us, as well as discuss which Loyalist Primarchs would be best for the setting to figure out which big boy will be back next. As me and GW aren't on speaking terms, I don't know for sure, but how about this? If I'm right about which Primarch returns, then everyone owes me $1. But if I'm wrong, then I'll do a Majorkill nude calendar that we talked about ages ago. Yeah, that sounds pretty fair to me. Let's get into it. Who is eligible to return to the setting? After all, not all the Loyalist Primarchs are able to. Ferrus, for example, is about a head too short to qualify, and there is no way Sanguinius will be brought back in his original form because it would cheapen the entire Horus Heresy. That leaves us with Dawn, the Lion, Vulcan, the Khan, Corvus, Lehman, and if you've been watching my Alpha Legion videos, Alfarius. We'll start with a process of elimination. Straight up, Dawn isn't coming back for the foreseeable future. While it seems like there is a chance he is still alive, his return would not really shake up the setting at all, and it would just serve to continue to take Chaos to the come zone. Not to say I don't want to see Lord Adornable back in action, but with the recent novel Godblight pretty much changing the rules of the game and making it very clear that a Chaos victory is not necessarily inevitable, the return of Rogel would make the setting just a little bit too noble bright. So where does that leave the rest of Daddy's favourites? Well, in truth, all of them could be the next one to return, but it's clear some are coming back sooner than others. When did we last see them? The Lion was knocked out into a coma by his asshole dad Luther 10,000 years ago, and he continues to sleep in the bowels of the rock, under the care and supervision of the Watchers in the Dark, who are like these little Jawa looking motherfuckers, except less annoying and way more overpowered. So all he has to do is get Prince Charming to give him a kiss and bam, he'll be back in action. Vulcan was last seen taking on a literal war in a wrestling match / hugging competition, where it seems like he was blown to smithereens. As he is a perpetual and cannot die, he has to be somewhere in the galaxy, but it's been shown that dying extremely violently has an adverse effect on Vulcan's mental health. Whoa, who knew? Hence, being atomized by Green Orc Voodoo has likely cooked Vulcan's brain pretty bad, so I'd not be surprised if he was just on some planet banging rocks together and playing the bongo drums. Vulcan did give his salamanders the task of recovering 9 artifacts, and if they complete the task, he said he will return. So far, they only have 5 of the 9, so it doesn't look like the big man is coming back anytime soon. Where is the Khan? Not a question many people ask, because he's not exactly the most popular Primarch around, but it's still a valid question indeed. The Khan was last seen chasing some Dark Elder into the Webway, so there's a lot of theories around the Dark Elder having captured him, but I don't think they have. See, the Khan and Fulgrim's home planets were swapped by Sir Gorach, who is the elder god of taking the piss. This meant that the Khan remained loyalist whilst Fulgrim turned traitor. Think about it. The Emperor was super surprised when Fulgrim betrayed the Imperium. Like, why bestow the honor of the Imperial Aquila and the name the Emperor's Children to a legion of dudes who would soon be a bunch of coke-sniffing rapists? Why would Ser Gorach do this? Well, he does enjoy taking the piss, but also, the Khan is in the Webway. Ser Gorach lives in the Webway. I would say that the Khan is currently with Ser Gorach, either as a guest or as a prisoner. No idea for what purpose, but if I was an Eldar meme god, I would try get my hands on a Primarch as well. Corvus has seemingly been in the Eye of Terror for the last 10,000 years as a demon raven who haunts Lorgar's nightmares. People be like, oh, Lorgar is meditating in his tower, that's why we haven't seen them. No bitch, Lorgar is shitting his pants and doesn't want to come out, because Corvus is there waiting to tear him a new one. And then there's Leman, who also went into the Eye of Terror and is prophesied to return during the end times. The Space Wolves often go try and find him, occasionally finding some of his gear, but so far, no dice. So now we know roughly where the Loyalist Primarchs are, who would make the most sense to be next to return. Well, the Khan honestly wouldn't. The White Scars are not a very popular chapter, and after 10,000 years with the meme god, it's very unlikely the Khan would be in the mood to help the decaying cesspit of the Imperium. It would also probably be the lowest impact Primarch to return, which isn't what GW wants. Similar situation with Vulcan. Due to his likely broken mind and relatively small amount of Salamander successes, Vulcan's return wouldn't really shake up the setting. It would be cool, and I'm sure he would go to town smashing up some Necrons and shit, but his overall impact would be meh. Corvus's return would be a bit more fun, but it would only happen if Lorgar left the Eye of Terror. And once again, due to Corvus's attitude, it wouldn't be a setting shake-up. Honestly, they should treat Corvus like they do the Sanguinor or Saint Celestine, but instead of an angelic golden-winged hero to save the Imperium, it's a fucking terrifying shadow demon born from your nightmares that no one really recognizes, save maybe Guilliman. So Corvus coming back in like a soft, non-committing way would be cool. Maybe a novel focusing on him tearing shit up in the Eye of Terror for 10,000 years could be a vibe. All of those Primarchs' return would be welcome, but it wouldn't have much of an overall setting impact, and it would honestly feel like a wasted opportunity. The next Primarch to return just can't fall in line with Guilliman and just act like one of his super generals. The next Primarch's return can't be straightforward. It has to create conflict for the setting, doing almost as much damage to Guilliman's Imperium as it helps. The two Primarchs that could create this conflict would be Leman and the Lion. Leman would be completely disgusted with the Imperium, the Inquisition would sicken him, especially after what they did to the Space Wolves, and he might even try and go to war with it. On top of that, 10,000 years in literal hell changes a man. Leman could emerge as a wolf and werewolf Primarch who's off his chops, or he could come out as Space Odin and be like super wise and shit. It would be a pretty fun curveball, and there is plenty of room in the dark side of the Imperium for Russ and his doggy fuckers to run around and cause havoc. Then there is the Lion, the only other Loyalist Primarch besides Guilliman that we know the exact location of. The Primarch who, if returned, would have the full power of the numerous and united Dark Angels, as well as the dozens of thousands of Fallen who are currently rallying to Luthor.
But Majorkill, why would the Fallen follow the Lion? Last we saw they were attacking him.
Timmy! Wow, it's been ages. I thought for sure you were dead after the last beating. Good to see you. Now shut the fuck up and listen here. Luthor felt really bad about betraying the Lion, and allegedly killing him. Like for the past 10,000 years, before he escaped from the Rock, he had been rambling about how the Lion will return and absolve him of his sins. That doesn't really sound like the kind of guy who wants to go round 2 with the big space knight. The Fallen also weren't a bunch of Chaos Marines. They say that they attacked the Lion's fleet as they believe the Lion had betrayed the Emperor. So you've got Fallen Dark Angels who are just getting spit out of the warp now, who 5 minutes ago were fighting who they thought was a traitor Primarch for the Emperor. It wouldn't take too much to show them the error of their ways and unite them as a full legion under Lionel Johnson. Here is where it gets interesting. The Lion and Guilliman disagreed on a lot of things. However, they were both extremely good commanders and war masters. The Dark Angels and the Ultramarines were at the top of the leaderboard for planets taken into compliance during the Great Crusade. The Lion could easily think Guilliman is attempting to make himself the Emperor, and with a united legion behind him, would be a huge powerhouse in the galaxy. Guilliman, on the other hand, would be very put off by the Lion controlling an entire legion, which is something Guilliman is not a fan of. So with these conflicting ideals, huge potential army, and the will to achieve his ambitions, the Lion would be a great Primarch to reintroduce to the setting. So we can comfortably say that the next Loyalist Primarch to return will be Alfarius, obviously. Nah, Lion is 100% the next Primarch to come back. Luther's recent escape, as well as Cypher's increased activity, signals the last requirements for the Lion to wake up from his snooze. It would be a very good thing for the setting as well. Instead of the narrative being Imperium versus everyone, you could get two sides of the Imperium turned into two different factions, like how Rome was divided into East and West. A new Lion model would also be fucking sick. But if I'm wrong, I'm straight up gonna make a nude calendar featuring me and a bunch of hot chicks. So what that means is that if GW doesn't bring back the Lion next, it's cause they wanna see that shit. And if I'm right, then, well, $1 baby. If you enjoyed the video and you wanna support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be. Only $1 per month give you access to a boatload of Warhammer hentai. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the real subscribe button for more Prime content. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.